Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Thank you, Suzette. Thanks, y'all. Good morning, Heart and Soul. Good morning. And good morning to those of you who are tuning in from wherever you are. Get yourselves up and get in here. But still grateful for you tuning in and being with us. I'm going to take a little time to there are those folks who call me a serial preacher, and I guess I have to include the Wednesday nights too. So we're just going to tag back a little bit to do a quick little review of my summer to pivot. Now, how many of you are really claiming this as your summer? I was a part of your year to pivot, to transform your life. How many? Yeah, okay. Well, we're in this together, absolutely. So, a part of what we have been up to in our session two was looking at how our identity is spiritual. And there's a real calling on our lives to not define ourselves by our struggles, but to define ourselves by our soul, like our soul imprint. And so on Wednesday, we literally had, and shout out to Reverend Jack for his brilliant script writing, because the vignette on Wednesday actually modeled this idea of how so many of us tend to see ourselves as different than the way that others see us. So it makes it difficult for us to accept acknowledgement and compliments and kudos about who and how we are if we see ourselves consistently and our self-talk is a less than based self-talk. Does that make sense? That as our self-talk is dragging us down, when others speak to us and lift us up, there's something strange in that communication, at least the way we see it. And we begin sometimes to activate our negative inner dialogue, even in response. Well, aren't you lovely and beautiful? Well, not today. You see, I didn't have time. Too often, our response is to drag down this insight to the truth of our being. Yes? We were also looking at this idea. What I shared was that our personality often introduces us based on our circumstances. So part of our introduction might be, well, I'm divorced. Well, I'm grieving. I've failed at that. I've always struggled. Whereas if we could imagine an anthropomorphized spirit, we might imagine that spirit would be introducing you as whole, as my beloved, as an individual expression of infinite life. And where might those two mesh? Where might we bring that together in our own consciousness and acknowledge that while our experiences certainly shape us, they do not define us? They cannot unless we decide that that's the game we're going to play. Science of mind teaches us, and this is why during our summer school we're forever blending ideas, that life is forever seeking fuller expression. So however you've been, what this is to remind you is you're forever being called into a fuller expression, and you are capable of it as well. So even when you're exhausted, even when you're disappointed, even when life feels uncertain, it continues reaching through us. It's always happening, regardless. Does that make sense? Yes. Good. One of my favorite quotes, and truly I think the quote that had me lean into this teaching several decades ago, I think it's been over 40 some years, this idea that Ernest Holmes shares, that there's a power for good in the universe. And then he said, I could use it. And it was a what you talking about kind of moment. I can use it because I've seen others use it. And I had to lean into this notion that I can use it. and began using it to the best of my ability. And I'm forever increasing how I do that. Now, that's in the midst of all the times I fall down. And sometimes when you look at me down there, you're like, you didn't forgot everything you teach and learned. And then I come to myself. And I remember and I get up and I know that there's a power for good in the universe and I can use it. Can we say that together? There is a power for good in the universe and I can use it. And this power has been carrying us longer than we can even imagine. So you remember that I invoked the metaphysician Snoop Dogg in calling forth an awareness for us, just a reminder that what we keep our mind on is what shows up in our life. So y'all know how we say that? And I'm going to invite you to do a fill in the blank moment. So his quote is, got my mind laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. But it may not be money for you. It may be health and well-being. It may be the healing of a relationship. I don't know what it is for you, but I'm going to invite us to say this. I got my mind on my, and then you fill in the blank for you, and my fill in the blank on my mind. It's about intention and attention. This is the principle, the activated principle of keeping our attention on our intention. We ready? Yes. Laid back with my mind on my health and well-being and my health and well-being on my mind. Ashe, amen. Yes? Yes, we also invoked this acronym, using it as a mnemonic so that we could work with this notion of being ready. Somebody would say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So it's this attitude of readiness that represents my remembering my divine nature, my engaging each day with intention, and holding my attention steadily focused on my intention, demonstrating my highest self, yes, saying yes to my heart's desire. So the invitation is to feel ready. A lot of us have this idea that I'm not ready. When the blessing comes, the same blessing we've been treating for, it's on our vision board. It's even the corners on the little thing is curled up because it's been on the vision board for a while. And when it shows itself, when it begins to demonstrate as a possibility, our response too often is, I'm not ready. So I'm inviting us to feel ready, to begin practicing feeling ready and trusting that we're prepared. Yes? Yes. Okay. So look, I just wanted to give you that quick little reminder just to kind of tag back in a sense on where we've been to bring us to this divine moment. Look, sometimes I know we feel as if we cannot shape our world, that we have no choice, that we're prisoners of anguish, that sometimes we might even feel that we're in a jail of I'm so lonely, a jail that all is lost. But look, the stars, I want you to know this, that the stars are shining to remind us. This, my favorite lyric by Ricky Byers, that a seed will require the darkness to grow into new life, and that's true for us. I give you Takia Franklin and Enrique Ramos.
is the seed of something greater in me, and the shame of not choosing higher, and all the disappointing moments fade into God, and no mistake has been made in God. All the ways that we seem to fail in God all fade. It all fades into God. Oh yeah, yeah. No choice, a prisoner of anguish in a jail of I'm so lonely, a jail of all is lost, but the stars are shining to remind us the seed will need the darkness to change into new life, and no mistakes have been made in God. All the ways that we seem to fail in God all fade. It all fades into God. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. In God is the gravity that holds me together. In God is the orbit in which I am spinning. I see the stars and I remember to remember inside my pain is the seed of my strength. In God is the gravity that holds me together. In God is the orbit in which I am spinning. I see the stars and I remember to remember inside my head is the seed of my strength. God is my life. In God is such excellence. All the ways that we seem to fail in God all fade. It all fades into God, and no mistakes have been made in God. All the ways that we seem to fail in God all fade. It all fades into God. It all fades into God.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you, heart and soul, for, as I was watching and feeling you feel, for knowing and inviting this principled idea that it all fades into God. There's so many favorite lines, favorite lyrics. This idea of I remember to remember. Come on now, Ricky, you better write. Yes. And I remember to remember, because that's usually our downfall, isn't it? We forgot to remember. But I love that the lyric calls us back into the practice of remembrance. Because often it's not that we don't know. We may say we don't know, but it's not that we don't know. It's that we have failed to remember to remember. Yes? Oh, I love that. I just love that. So look, we are on this adventure in faith. It continues to be our theme. And what we're rocking with this year is the Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest, who offers us this promise, this invitation to 365 days to become the person you truly want to be. And there's not a one of us who doesn't have an idea of who we truly want to be. So when we began on January 1st, we literally had 365 days. We did. We did have that. Now today is day 207. And so we have 158 days. And so before we slide into depression, I want you to know that that's plenty of time. It simply requires what? That we place our attention on our intention to become the person we truly want to be. And the easy part is that you're already that person. Oh. That was the part I wasn't supposed to tell, huh? Spoiler alert, exactly. You are already that person. The key is to remove all the impediments, all of the lies, all of the untruths, all of the everything that's unlike the truth of your being. Yeah? So that's where we begin. So have you noticed how two people can experience exactly the same event and walk away with a different perception, live completely different lives in that? We see it in families. And often when we see it in families, we have siblings who would debate that was the situation, circumstance, that they have an entirely different sense of who the parents were. Well, you know, Mama never, but yeah, she did too. And Daddy, no, he didn't. We have entirely different senses. Why? Because we are living through our own perception of it, yes? Try this on for size. That if right now, imagine, please, we're going to invoke Neville. So we're going to just up-level our imagination game. Imagine that right now, you have on, like you see me now, through whatever lenses that you have. But imagine that we passed out or you selected a colored lens. Pick your favorite color. So you're looking at me or the front of the room through a colored lens. For some, it's red. For some, it's blue. It's green. It's purple. Some of y'all got rainbow. I don't know what all y'all are doing with the lens. But whatever you're doing, it changes what you see, doesn't it? So I'm still here, and the front of the room has not changed, but it does look different to you through this lens. That is what perception is. And the lens is the equivalent of your consciousness. It's what you're seeing through it, your awareness. So if we pass them out at the door and lock them on, you would leave here believing that I had on red. Or whatever color you're seeing through, that would color your awareness entirely. Is this making sense? Well, you have on lenses all the time. The difference is these are not lenses that you physically put on and take off. But in the changing of your mind, In the choosing something different, you are literally taking off something and putting on something else. Does that make sense? Yes. That it's all an inside job. The way I described it is we're passing out something and then you're choosing and you're putting it on, but that's happening. It's an inside job. It's an inside job of how you're perceiving it. And this is important because events, the way we see a thing, the way we perceive whatever is happening, is truly an inside job. We often act like it is. And on Wednesday night, we had two very powerful vignettes. The second one, Alicia, I forget your character's name. It doesn't matter. What's her name? Allison? Well, now that it's Allison. And Alicia got a standing ovation for her portrayal of Allison. And I'm so grateful because in that vignette, Allison loses her job. And there's a certain initial perception around that. The way what she sees and feels and begins to kind of almost plan for happening. There's a moment in the script where she says that her 2-month severance pay is going to last her 3 months. Now, she just got it. It has just been deposited in her account, but she'd already calculated that's going to last 3 months. Now, that may be factual, but because it hasn't happened, she still has an opportunity. Y'all not paying attention. I'm going to talk to the people at home. Look, the idea here is that although, you see, if we're not paying close attention to our lives and how it really works, we would think, oh, I'm glad she's paying attention. I'm glad she's aware that the 2-month severance pay is only going to last her 3 months, etc. But look at what it's doing to her mind. Look at what it's doing to her consciousness as she is operating from that. But to her credit, there's a moment where she has a prodigal daughter kind of moment, where she comes to herself, where she says, wait, hold up. This step, how did it go? That her setback, these are Reverend Jack's words, where she says to herself, this setback is a setup for something better. What if, what if we all impress that on our psyche? What if we wrote that on our heart so that the moment a thing happens where we start going to, woe is me, ain't it awful, how am I going to make it through this? What if, as we were working ourselves in that, what if what comes to mind, this setback, is a setup for something better? What? I'm just not telling you to do this. I'm just saying, what if? What if? I'm not in your business yet. I'm just offering an idea. Yes? What if? What if, as the thing is unfolding, what if you said, oh, this might be a setback that's really a setup for me? What if? I don't know. But what if? Can you see? It's a different lens through which you're seeing it, isn't it? That could change everything. Because you might be planning a fetal position moment. And just as you start getting yourself down, you go, oh, wait a minute, what if this is just to set me up for a higher outcome? I can see you getting up right now. You just get on back up and be, well, let me get ready for the setup part of it. Yes? Okay, there are a few people. Yes, y'all at home? Yeah. So today's reading in the pivot year, which I'm going to get to, but it reminds us that there is what you experience, and then there's the story you tell yourself about it. And the truth is, sometimes they are not even related. You know what I mean? Like if you came into the world and said, world, this is what happened, this is what I'm telling myself about it, we'd be confused. Sometimes they're more closely aligned, but still they are what they are. There's the fact, and then it's what you made up about it. Would it be okay if I just said you made that up? Whatever it is you're telling yourself, you made that up. All right. Brianna Weiss also says that over time, how you write the narrative determines how you experience reality. Now, that part of it, this whole idea, could easily be found in the writings of Ernest Holmes and Neville Goddard, easily, because both taught that life is not happening to consciousness. Life is happening through consciousness. So today, I invite you to be in the question. Yeah? Yeah. I'm going to invite you to be in the question of who is writing the story of your life. Now, that could be true. Thank you, Krista. She said, I am. And that's a powerful notion. I'm going to ask us to look more deeply. Is that narrative, is that voice your voice? It could be Granny's voice. Could be the third grade teacher's voice. Could be the bully on the playground. Could be their voice. So sure enough, you are writing it, but whose voice? Yes? And once you're paying attention to whose voice, you can then make the shift. Because it's about awareness. Once you're like, wait a minute, where did I get that? I told you about the time we were at my godmother's home, and there were the steep stairs, and because it was my godmother's house, I was in charge, so I'm directing people down. And I heard my father say, now you be careful because you know how clumsy you are. And I held that for decades. And then I was doing something, and I thought, I was an athletic youth. I was a dancer. I have never been clumsy. And it occurred to me then, decades later, he wasn't even talking to me. But for all of those years, I had that little voice. Okay, now, you know you're, I was doing things because I had that narrative. I heard somebody say, I have one of those. I bet if we pass the mic, everybody has one. And if you don't have one, it's only because you've not had the aha that it's not even your voice. It's not even true about you. No matter from whence it came. So look, the story that shapes your world is all about how you hold the experience. So we're going to get to, well, let me just highlight just a little bit here. Let me quickly just highlight at the end where, and it's the line I just said, that there is what you experience. There is the experience for real. Allison was laid off, sure enough. And then there's the story you tell yourself about it. Now, you might tell yourself about it that given my skill set and my age and my ethnicity and my gender, let's layer it on. Just because, when we make stuff up, we make it good. And we tend to make it solid so that we can't debate our way out of it. I mean, I'm just trying to be real with you and how we set it up, yes? So the idea here is the acknowledgement that you don't really know what's next. None of us really knows the infinite possibility. None of us knows all of the infinite possibilities. What we've done is to choose one we don't even want. And then we start reinforcing that and sharing it. Now watch this, because we are brilliant in this part. Sharing it with people, only the people who will agree. Oh, you didn't think anybody knew that? Y'all didn't think we knew that you were only talking to the people who would agree? That you didn't tell the people who would say so what? You didn't want that job anyhow. There's not a time that you've talked to me about that job where you didn't complain. You don't call that person. That's not the first one you call. You call the one who's like, what? What are you going to do? I don't know. And then y'all commiserate with how awful it is. And if I had gone back to school, if I had used that tuition plan that they had, and if I had gotten an advanced degree, I wouldn't be in this situation. Girl, I tried to tell you you should do that. And so now we are creating a whole world born out of your selective narrative. And the group that you've gathered to reinforce it, to support you in making it more true when it is not true. There is some fact there, but that's all you got. The rest is up to you. So how you write the narrative determines how you experience it. I'm out here on my own now. Oh, okay. All right, that little glassed over look. I shouldn't be concerned about that, huh? Okay, all right. I'm just trying to make sure we're working, you're processing. Okay, long as you're processing. Look, I'm gonna need a little signal when you're processing. Cause it looks like I left the building. It's okay, just when y'all do this, I'll know you're processing. All right, cause it's kind of a I've left the building look. Digestion, processing, digesting, all that's good. All right, are you making the little internet? Okay, all right, so any of that helps me. Y'all put it in the chat if you just kind of need a moment to be with that. All right, yeah, get your journals out. Do what you need to do for the pieces that help. So look, there are pivot choices. This is the summer of my pivot. So look, there are pivot choices with what you see and what you create. So if you see an ending, you can create a beginning. Yes? But can you see if we really stayed in this stuck place, we see an ending and then we make up a whole thing that supports the worst case scenario ending. Does that make sense? But instead, we can see an ending and create a beginning. We can see a storm and course correct. Yes. If you were a professional sea person, that's what you would do. You wouldn't just get out the life vest and jump off. You would begin to course correct. You would begin to see what makes sense here. What would be the best option? Let's continue. When you see waiting and like you're just like, I've been praying about this. I'm on my 5th practitioner around praying about this. So you're in that state of waiting. What can you create? Gratitude. To just know something. Be in appreciation. Be open to the receptivity of it all. If you are just so confused by the unknown aspect of it, what can you create? You can do possibility thinking, positive possibility thinking. Because we're adept at possibility thinking. We're just going to shift it to possibility creation of what we actually want. So I've asked a couple of volunteers to support me. Kathy, if you would come up and be right here. And then I want y'all to meet my dear sister minister friend, the Reverend Dr. Sunshine Day. And so they are, now Reverend Sunshine has her learning center, which is Vida, life, living. So look, this is taken from day 208 in our reading, the pivot year. All right, so, oh, yes, get your mic. You can just lift it up so you don't have to hold it, or whatever, however you want to work it. Do that. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Okay, I'll help.
Thank you.
Like this? This is good?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear? Do we have to turn it on?
Oh, yes. It's on.
Hello?
That's good?
All right.
You're
Are we
good?
ready?
Okay.
You either see endings
Or within them, new beginnings. You either see that you're living in the days of your younger self, once dreamt of,
or you're still waiting on something more. You either see a storm that disrupts your path,
or one that corrects your course.
you either see the hours as long and thankless,
Or life as brief and precious.
you either see the mysterious unknown,
Or an endless realm of possibility.
there is what you experience,
And then there's the story you tell yourself about it.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted y'all to hear two different voices because I think that's the way it works in you. I think you literally hear two different voices. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Sunshine. Yes. That is either guiding you, drawing you closer to your desired outcome, or one that is guiding you to a lesser outcome. And sometimes that lesser outcome, all it has to do is reinforce where you already are. But whatever is required, it will do that. So those are like pivot choices that are real. Yeah? So there is the unseen power behind every experience. There's the visible world, which is effects, it's circumstances, relationships, finances, health, and opportunities. All of these are effects. Cause, though, is what we see here in this vision that came to me around engaging the unseen power within each and every one of us. Yes? So it's always about our feelings, our emotions. This is what Neville does this work beautifully, Neville Goddard. And my thoughts, this is what Ernest Holmes does beautifully. And my attitude, my beliefs, my perceptions, and my imaginings. This is what we were just playing with, yes? And then my reactions and my responses. The truth is, what's on the right, is that God is good, the living one, the strong one, surrounding, enfolding us, imbuing us. This is divine reality. And this is how I manifest my intention. This is the creative process in a different imagery, if you will. So the visible world always begins in the invisible world of consciousness. Often I say to you, it's all by right of consciousness. So look, from our inner narrative, even in this visual, we see that we are moving from awareness to power to possibility to embodiment. So here's the invitation: to rewrite your story, to release the old narrative and consciously choose the meaning you will call forward. Rewrite your story, to refocus your attention. That means you're withdrawing your attention from what you fear or no longer desire, and you place it on what you intend to experience. Does that make sense? So you, first of all, this is about taking dominion. All of these points are. This is where you go, rather than, you know what, it ain't even worth it. Nope. You call your power back and say, look, I'm going to rewrite my story. I'm going to refocus my attention. I'm going to reclaim my intention and thus my power. Because part of how I got here is that I took my attention off of my intention and I squirreled around in that and then looked up and said, now how'd I get here? Why did this happen? What's going on? And then you remember and you reclaim your intention and your power. You remember that you have choice and agency and spiritual authority over how you respond and who you become. That you have this choice, so you reclaim it, and then you reimagine your future. And in so doing, you see beyond the present appearances. Yeah, I know the layoff thing. I know what that envelope means. But I'm seeing beyond that. What can this represent? And it's up to me to decide, what is it going to represent to me right now, in this instance? Yes? You're envisioning what's possible from a new consciousness. If I believed in me, then how would I see this? If I were really about the business of what I said in my prayer earlier, how would I see this? You have some options. Is this making sense? Okay. Then receive your good. Now, receive very specifically because it has this is that same, what Snoop was talking about, the laid back part of it. Yeah, this is the laid back part of it in receiving the good. I'm not going out to get the good. I'm open to seeing the good, to receiving it, to perceiving it, to being about it. Does that make sense? It's opening ourselves to accept and embody and experience the good that we have already affirmed and imagined. So it's rewrite the story, refocus your attention, reclaim your power, reimagine your future, and what? Receive your good. That's a powerful vibration there, yes? I love that. I love that. I'm going to... Bottom line. Let me just bottom line this. Your life follows the story your consciousness believes. Your life follows the story your consciousness believes. So there's some things we affirm that, for example, there hasn't been every prosperity class I've ever facilitated, an immediate kind of almost knee-jerk reaction is to affirm way more money than the individual has ever seen, or way more stuff than they have the consciousness for. Does this make sense? So it's not that that's not possible. It's just not possible with the current consciousness. You're not there. So the idea would be to pay attention to, where am I in this prosperity journey? Where am I? How do I really see myself right now? And then incrementally, whatever incremental means, in an individual progression story, move from there. Does that make sense? Because if you don't believe it, it ain't happening. So it's to grow, expand your consciousness, health and well-being. Can I tell you that until you believe in your health and well-being rather than in the diagnosis and the prognosis, that what you are calling forth is what you believe. Oh, I'm going to need the sign. I'm okay. All right. All right. Good. Okay. So look, I say be certain to choose the story because you're forever choosing stories. Here's the story I'm telling myself. And anytime you're telling yourself that story, you're not telling yourself another story. So you're choosing a story, and this is not shame or blame. It's do your best to have an awareness that that's the story you're telling yourself. Now, having said that, there will be those stories you tell yourself that you don't know you're telling. It's just what you do. I told you when I used to be a part of a United Methodist church, and every Sunday or whatever the cadence was, we had a recitation. I think it might have been a doxology, but whatever it was, I'm out of touch with that. It's been so long. But this part I remember. So we're doing the recitation, and we got to the part that says, I am not so worthy as to gather up the crumbs under thy table. I heard me gasp because I had begun studying this philosophy. I had been reciting that for decades. And I don't know if it made sense to me or not. I just know that that's what I was feeding myself. And when I heard it that Sunday, it was as if my proverbial finger went up and I tipped I had left the building. Now, my body was still there at the pew. But trust me when I tell you, I had left the building. Because I knew that I was no longer a match for an environment that encouraged me to declare that I was not so worthy as to gather up the crumbs under thy table. Now, I have never been now, I'm a sopper. Y'all don't. If there's some sauce left in the thing and it's good, I'm going to sop that up. I don't know that I'm a crumb girl, though. But just in case I am, it's not the crumbs under the table. So when I realized that as powerful as affirmations are, I was affirming my unworthiness to even have that I don't want. The crumbs I'm not even worthy enough to have that according to that particular recitation. So let me just say, your life follows the story your consciousness believes. I don't want to even find out that some part of my consciousness believes that. There's some things we just need to eliminate, and whoever is doing them, we're not judging the people because we're where we are. But if you decide that's not for you, then you need to hurry up and get out of there. Get out of the rhythm and vibration of something that is the antithesis to what you are declaring yourself. And instead choose the story that love, that faith, and spirit would tell. Choose that for yourself. So look, how about a spiritual practice? Just a practical spiritual practice. I can leave you with this? Okay. During this week, whenever something happens, is there anybody who's thinking, man, ain't nothing happening? Can I just say that stuff happens? So when something happens and you become aware of it, your first step is to pause. You're not just reacting to it, just pause. And then ask, what happened? You're just looking for the facts. What happened? I fell down. They didn't I got a rejection letter. You're not the narrator yet. What happened? They didn't show up. They didn't come, they didn't call, whatever it is, it happened. Now, ask yourself, what story am I telling about this? You know what happened? It didn't, it did. Now, what am I telling myself about this? That's what you need to know. And then tell the truth about that story. And just a quick little fit question is this the only story available to me at this time? So this is the story I'm telling, but let me just check in real quick. Is this the only story available? Does this have to be the story that I tell? And if you get a no, then I'm going to suggest, and let me just say you're going to get a no. If you don't, ask again, because no is the right answer. And then look at what other stories could I tell about this? Yes? Yeah, that question alone can transform your life. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. I have no idea what. Oh, I do now. Okay. All right. So look, I'm out of here. But we began with falling away. No, we didn't. We began with all fades into God. And now we're going to another Ricky Byers tune, Falling Away. And part of the lyric is, and all the things that held me down. Can y'all feel that? All of the stuff that held me down right now, because I am engaging a new process, because I'm coming into a new awareness, because I'm taking responsibility for what happens next in my life. I'm taking dominion. I know that I have power because what? There's a power for good in the universe, and I'm busy using it. I'm all about using it. And so because of that, it's falling away from me. All of that stuff that was weighing me down and affecting me in the ways that were keeping me from my highest and best, it's all falling away. And what? I'm rising up. This is Takia Franklin and Enrique.
All of the ways I walked in pain, all of the times I felt I couldn't go on, the guilt, the shame, and all the things that held me down, falling away from me, falling away from me. I'm rising up, it's all falling away, away from me. Heavenly Spirit, there is something I want to say to you. Words can't contain it, but I'll do the best that I can do. You lift me up like the vastness of the ocean, and you heal my heart, and I'm filled with such devotion. All of the ways I walked in pain, all of the times I felt I couldn't go on, the guilt, the shame, and all the things that held me down, falling away from me. They're all falling away from me. I'm rising up. They're all falling away, away from me. I'm trying to say, Lord, it's beyond imagination. It's more than I prayed for. There's a joy in my being. You brought a blessing that I'm just beginning to see. I've got to rise on up and accept that I am free. All of the ways I walked in pain, all of the times I felt I couldn't go on, the guilt, the shame, and all the things that held me down are falling away from me. They're all falling away from me. I'm rising up. They're all falling away, away from me. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, away from me. It's all falling away, away from me. Yeah, yeah, away from all falling away, away from me. It's all falling away, away